310864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck. Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound, up and in! 1.4 to go!
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field, back toward the wall, gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
Scott Phillips trying to be Alex Simpson today. The sign didn't update. That's why you need Alex to be Alex. Scott is Scott. Welcome to Duck Insider today. Good win for Duck baseball last night. The spring game is going to be on us in a hurry. 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. Free admission with 3 non-perishable food items to donate to Food for Lane County. Looking forward to tons of pounds, maybe tons of food delivered to Food for Lane County. There's a lot going on around Autzen Stadium. 10:30 is when the parking lots open. A reminder, get your parking ahead of time. There's more info via GoDucks.com. The Ducks will have CMS on site, and you come in, you show your mobile parking pass, and you're there. $5 for season ticket holders, $10 for the general public. Autzen Stadium lots open at 10:30. Oregon soccer against Portland at Pape Field at 11. The pregame Fan Fest from 11 to 1 featuring a bunch of sights and sounds from the armed services. And then at 11 a.m. also, the fan shuttles to Autzen begin running from the Valley River Center. At noon, Autzen Stadium, the gates open. Come on in, enjoy. Students are encouraged to sit in the regular section 7 and 8. Looking forward to seeing the pit crew there. The Ducks will then kick off at 1:07, green team versus yellow team. The teams have been unveiled. Oregon football social media channels has you covered if you decide you want to root green or yellow. And then at 3 o'clock, Oregon baseball against Arizona State at PK Park. And then following the spring game, the Fan Fest in the HDC Plaza. It'll be 4 15-minute quarters with a running clock except for scores, penalties, change of possessions, and the last 3 minutes of each half. And it will be a 12-minute halftime. Green and yellow rosters are out there. The green team, the guest coach is Marcus Mariota. The yellow team, the guest coach is Javon Holland. The guest coaches will call plays during a portion of the second half. A bunch of former Ducks are returning to Autzen Stadium. Looking forward to getting them on the Oregon Sports Network broadcast. Beginning at 1 o'clock, Jerry and Jorgie have the call from the booth. I'll be running around on the sideline. There's your spring game timeline. All the details are on GoDucks.com. Again, no parking available day of. Get the parking pass on your mobile device beforehand via GoDucks.com and the GoDucks Game Day app. Earlier this week, we heard from Special Teams Coordinator Joe Lorig. Going to get that for you. Also, Casey Martin, Oregon men's golf head coach. I sat down with him yesterday. The Ducks are traveling today. The Pac-12 championships begin for Oregon men's golf tomorrow. Great conversation with Casey Martin. Congratulations to Oregon Acrobatics and Tumbling this morning. A win to start the championships. They're advancing. More details on that. A good score, though, 265, just over 265 against Frostburg State. The Ducks with the first victory in their first matchup in the NCATA National Championships. Baseball last night, a midweek series win over Gonzaga. We'll hear from Mark Wazakowski. Drew Smith hit his first career home run. That was awesome to see. And a number of Oregon student athletes previewing a big series for Duck baseball with Arizona State this upcoming weekend. Sun Devils are in first in the Pac-12. Ducks are in third. If Oregon wins the series, sweeps the series, might be first place in the standings after this weekend. Also, Tony Tuioti met with the media and some student athletes from Duck football as well. So the rest of the show, I'm getting out of the way. Interviews. Special teams coordinator Joe Lorig, he talked with the media. It's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. Joe Lorig talking special teams and more here.
Defensive players in the second year in the system, it really starts to click for them. Do you feel the same way about special teams in the system that you're running there?
Yeah, I think anytime you get more experience doing anything, you get better and better at it as guys understand systems and get experience. I think it definitely makes a difference. Sure.
How frustrating during the course of the season was last season for you?
Because I don't know if I'd say frustrating. I'm always just looking at evaluating how things are going, and you really can't ride the highs or lows of things. You just got to look every week and kind of, especially the way that we operate it, kind of like it's a new week, every Sunday, whether you played bad or played good, it doesn't really matter. The next week you got to get ready to do it all over again and put the best plan together that you can for the players.
Did you have concerns along the way? Did you foresee that an Oregon State kind of situation could unfurl the way it did?
No, I don't think you ever can foresee that situation, but nothing leading up to that would have led to me thinking that. But I've done this for a long time, and things can happen in football games. That's for sure.
Where's the punting competition at now? It looks like brought in a new guy. You've got obviously one.
Yeah, we got a couple guys out there competing. We're probably going to add another guy. So, always again, especially in the new era of college football, you're always looking to add pieces if you can that can help you.
What was it about Luke that caught your guys' eye and opted to kind of have you guys bring him out here?
Luke
Dunn.
Oh, Luke Dunny. We have a relationship with Pro Kick Australia, who's like the premier international punting experts, and they're the ones that send all the people to the U.S. And so, just my relationship with them, leaning on that, really communicating with them with who they thought the best fit was.
And what have you made of what he's done since he got here?
I think he's done a good job since he's got here. It's actually been a really close competition with him and Ross. He's learning everything new. Like when he got off the plane was the first time he'd ever been in the U.S. So he thought cars were driving the wrong way, or the people were on the wrong side of the deal when they were steering. So there's a lot to learn for sure. But that's the advantage to getting him here in the spring, is that you get him all through spring, and then they got the next 4 months before we get to fall camp. So I'm very pleased with him. He's got I don't know if you guys have seen him, but he's like 6'5". He's got a really big leg. It'll just be how far he can mature and be able to handle the pressures of punting in a packed Autzen Stadium. That's really the difference for those guys, and you don't really know that until you get in that situation.
I was going to ask you on those terms. I know when Tom Sneak came out here a couple of years ago, he was saying similar deal from Australia, that he hadn't had a whole lot of kicking in live situations. Did Luke have a fair amount of that coming in, or will this weekend be maybe one of the first times he's faced something like that?
It'll be the first time he's played American football in that situation. Right. He's played Australian rules football in front of crowds, but it's quite different. And so, yeah, it's the first time for him for sure. And again, that's why it's a big advantage to get him here sooner rather than later.
What have you seen from Camden so far this year, and kind of just the growth that he's had, and where do you think that he's improved the most this offseason?
Yeah, really happy with Cam. His field goal, I haven't looked at it in a long time, but his field goal percentages went way up last year. I was really happy with his play. I think he can also add to us in the kickoff area. Maybe I think he's gotten better in that area, and adding some competition has maybe heightened his awareness of things he needs to do better in that area. So he's a really good veteran presence in the room. He's played a bunch of football here, and so he can kind of lead the guys through what to expect, and this is what it's like, and those kind of things. So been very happy with him, and again, I expect him to be involved in the kickoff competition as well.
I was going to say, who's handling kickoffs right now with Boyle down?
Well, we took the number one kicker in the country, Grant Metters. He's had a hamstring injury all spring. He just came back last week, but he's been super impressive. He hit a 50-yard field goal last week, and his kickoffs are very, very impressive. So he's as advertised so far. It's a really small sample size, but so him and Cam have been competing, and we don't really make those. I won't make those decisions until August, but I think they're both capable. Andrew's really, really good if he can get healthy and get to where he needs to be, which I expect him to be for the fall.
And after Carson was here for so long, I know you've had Luke in several big spots last year, but how ready do you feel like he is, and bringing in multiple other guys at long snapper? That's just not very many teams who have 3 and now potentially 4 long snappers on the roster.
Yeah, we've got 3 elite long snappers. It's probably one of the best positions on our team, which no one will ever notice but me probably, but all 3 are really good. The kid that I coached at Penn State was the long snapper, the top long snapper in the country this year. He won that award, and Luke's got potential to be better than him. So Luke's really, really talented. And what's even cooler for me, like myself, Luke's from here, so this means a ton to him. This was his dream school coming out of high school, and so I know every time he runs onto Autzen Stadium, it means something different to him, and that's really special for him. So I'm really happy with him, and really all three of them are. Nick Duzansky, his brother, played for me at Penn State as well. He's come in and done a tremendous job. He's got to add some weight. His brother put on 40 pounds when he got to college, so I expect him to do the same thing. But he's super talented. And then we just added Colson Bruner from Central Washington, who's also really talented. So we do not have a long snapper issue at all. We've got other than maybe too many, but you never really can have too many good players. So I'm excited about the competition.
How many specialists can you carry, Joe? Just because talking 3 punters, 3 kickers, 4 long snappers on a 105-man roster. There's not too many teams that are going to carry 10 specialists. So
no, you're going to carry 9 if you do it right. You should carry 3 punters, 3 snappers, and 3 kickers. That's been my kind of modus operandi forever, but it doesn't always work out that way. It depends on kind of what the head coach wants and those kind of things, but generally speaking, you want 3 of each.
Turning to the
it helps if one of them's a combo guy.
Turning to the nickel position, what was it about Taishim that you guys really liked and wanted to bring him in? What does he kind of add to this defense that you guys might not have had before?
He's got a ton of experience. A lot of experience I think would be the main thing, and then he's just got like a dog about him. He's a really tenacious player. If you watch practice for like 2 minutes, you guys can see it. Very explosive, really smart, headsy type of kid, and again, I think bringing that experience will be really helpful for him.
You guys have also been moving a lot of cornerbacks and safeties into that nickel spot. Will someone like Julio Florence or Dante Manning, they've talked about playing a little bit of nickel. What are they showing at that spot for you?
Yeah, I can't really say anybody stands out more than anybody else, to be honest with you. I think that'd be unfair to do at this point. I think what you've seen is just one of the things that Coach Lanning believes in that very firmly is position versatility. So you're going to have corners playing star and safeties playing star and also having to play corner and safety. And so you got to be really versatile, which can be challenging at times, but certainly it's helpful to the players and it's helpful to the team when you can do multiple things. So you'll see lots of guys back there. How it'll all shake out at the end of the day, I honestly don't know right at this point, but if a guy's playing more, if you need him more at corner, then you got a different star. If you need him more at star, then you have a different corner. You got to kind of look at the balance of all those positions together and make sure you're getting the best 11 on the field.
When it comes to punt return, what have you either addressed or shored up by way of in the spring? Obviously this time. At the same time, we're also about a role that if you have 1 return per game on average in the season, that's about it. So we're talking about like 12 to 14 plays, but they are potentially very important plays.
Sure.
So what have you got by way of answers so far, or what are you looking for by way of the rest of the offseason?
Well, the number one thing that we want to do is own the ball, right? If you remember, that's our 2 goals. We want to own the ball and have no penalties. So we didn't have any. We had no penalties on punt return, which is the first year I ever remember having that in my life. And we owned the ball, which means we didn't give up any possessions to the other team. So, which on paper, you could look at it and probably argue whether you need to have more yards or whatever. When you look at our offense last year, if you just got them the ball, really good things are going to happen. So we probably coached that a little bit to be maybe a little bit tentative if you were being critical of us, because we're so focused on just getting the ball back to our offense when you have an explosive offense like ours. But certainly we look at everything. We look at scheme, we look at players, we look at coaches of how we can improve that area. I do think we've got some guys that are pretty good. I thought Chris did a good job, again, for what we asked of him. And then I think adding Tez Johnson, he's really, really fast. He was a dynamic returner at Troy. So, and I think we'll probably add a couple more pieces as well. So I think we've got plenty of capable guys. Like you said, and anymore, there's so many good punters. It's just either they're really good or really bad punters. And so it's hard to get. I can't remember anymore how many we had, but we didn't have very many returns. Not for our fault, just because of how the punts were. But certainly when you have a dynamic guy and you can highlight it, it definitely can help you.
I was just going to ask, is Tez someone who can do punt and kick return?
Yeah, I think he's special at both. Yeah, I really do. He's definitely right in the mix for both those spots. Again, I think we have multiple guys. In the bowl game, both Bucky and Noah showed on kickoff return a spark that we hadn't seen during the season. So, I think as much as anything, I got to do a better job of making sure that the right guys are in the right spots. And so it's not an excuse. Just when you don't know how guys are going to perform in games, sometimes it's harder to maybe get them in the right spots. So, like looking back, maybe I should have had Bucky at kick returner more as an example last season. We evaluate everything certainly, and I think we've got plenty of tools to be successful.
When it comes to coverage units, Dan talked about having more starters available to you. How different will those units, do you think, I realize it's time, but how different by way of personnel and who's out there on kickoff coverage, on punt coverage, will it look come the fall than it was this past season?
It'll really depend, to be really upfront with you, it'll really depend on how we're kicking the ball off and how we're punting the ball. You know, where I came from, we only had 2 kickoff returns all year against us, so I was probably used to not playing as many starters. If you think about it, like your best tacklers, let's talk kickoff, like your best tacklers are going to be your defensive players, generally speaking, because that's what they do, right? But then you got to weigh, do you want your 11 starters running down and then turning right around and playing defense, or do you know what I mean, or do you want to have some backups in there because you're going to be a really high touchback team? So it just depends on the quality of our kickoffs. But I think the biggest point you can get there is that Coach Lanning is supportive of playing our good players and playing our best players, and then I got to be smart and make sure that we're not overutilizing them on special teams or underutilizing them, and the same with punt coverage. Really in those units, to be honest with you, and it's the same thing I tell the specialists, if the kickers and punters are as good as we should be at Oregon, the other stuff doesn't matter quite as much, to be really upfront with you.
Joe Lorig, Oregon Special Teams Coordinator, coaches the Nichols too, meeting with the media, getting ready for the spring game coming up this weekend. Hey, some great history for Oregon track and field before we get back to football. 3-time NCAA champion Darrell Burleson is headed to the Collegiate Track and Field and Cross Country Athletics Hall of Fame. It was announced yesterday by the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association. So awesome for the Cottage Grove, Oregon native. He's part of the 14-member class that will be inducted September 14th, 2023 at the Holt Center here in Eugene. Ceremony will be open to the public 2 days prior to the Prefontaine Classic, which will double as this year's Diamond League final. Undefeated against collegiate competition during his Oregon career, Burleson ran to the 1960 NCAA title in the 1,500 meters, followed by back-to-back titles in the mile in 1961 and 1962. In April of 1960, Burleson became the second sub-4 miler in American history and the first to break the milestone barrier at historic Hayward Field. Burleson joins fellow Oregon icon Steve Prefontaine, who was inducted in 2022 as a member of the inaugural class of the Collegiate Athlete Hall of Fame. So cool. Congratulations to Darrell Burleson. When we come back, Casey Martin, Oregon men's golf head coach. Pac-12 championships are this upcoming weekend. That's next. And then back to some football on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with the Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Dear Sharp Turns, Toyota has more all-wheel drive sedans than any other brand. Get a grip in the stylish Camry, the elegant Crown, the striking new Prius, or the sharp Corolla. Get to Toyota.com already. Toyota, let's go places.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider is presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. This weekend, Oregon men's golf and the rest of the Pac-12 in action. down at Stanford. The Pac-12 championships hosted by Stanford this year. Got the chance to catch up with Casey Martin yesterday before they hit the road, the Oregon men's golf head coach, on their season so far, including a couple tournament titles. Their individuals that have been really, really good. Also, breaking ground at the Jake, the new indoor facility that is coming. I'm really looking forward to the unveiling of it. Not just seeing the renderings and the progress pictures, but when it's all done, it's going to make a difference for Oregon golf. Our conversation with Casey Martin. Pac-12 championship season for Oregon men's golf. The head coach, Casey Martin, is here. Coach.
Yes.
How are things?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm doing better. Excited for the postseason coming up. Yeah, it's good. We actually have a sunny day. I'm really excited.
This is good times. See, you have competed in Oregon so long. I want to say a phrase and see if you use this. If you don't like the weather in Oregon, wait 5 minutes. How do you feel about that?
I don't like that because you kind of get more of the same. I've been in Oregon all my life,
right.
And you go in these windows where it's like long periods of gray and wet, and then long periods over the summer. So I think that's more applicable to the volatile climates.
Okay.
Unfortunately, at Oregon, it kind of sits in on you a little bit. But,
all right.
But hey, we're not here to talk about the weather.
It's always sunny and 75.
Somewhere. Inside.
See?
I get it.
Now we're on the same page. Review the season for us. Won a couple tournaments. What have you seen from your squad?
I've been really pleased. Got a great group of kids. They compete really hard. They're good. And we're trending nicely. I mean, we've had a great spring, won twice, and have been in contention in a couple others, a couple big events. Yeah. And we've had tough weather, as we spoke about,
Right.
So the kids have some grit to fight through that. And we've played when we've gone places we've had bad weather as well. In California, we haven't had a lot of rain, but it's been windy and cool, and then we got winded out of Hawaii,
right,
which I've never experienced before. So we've had some challenges, but we've stepped up to it, and like I said, it's been a great squad, a great year so far, and now we just need to push and finish.
Now I'm just going to tell everybody that tournament in February that got winded out in Hawaii. Yeah, what? Come on now, Hawaii.
It was perfect. The tournament started, I guess, on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was just perfect Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday morning, you're like, whoa, this is next level. And we played about 6 holes, and then it got really goofy. Like, balls were just blowing right off the green. And then,
oh, wow.
The windshield of our cart, these windshields kind of fold up now, and so it was all folded up, and later in the afternoon, the windshield blew off and blew down a ravine. So it was dangerous. Literally, someone was going to get hurt and blown off a cliff. You can't play.
You don't play. Now, you talked about winning the 2 tournaments. It's good to defend your home course. You win the Duck Invitational. You won at Bandon. How valuable is that to have those wins under your belt heading into postseason?
I think it is for the kids' morale and confidence. Golf, it's hard to win, because you don't go head-to-head.
Right.
You have tournaments with 15 teams. So it is hard to win, and so it feels good when you work hard and the guys are out there in the cold and the wet sometimes in the wintertime. To get a reward like that's really morale-boosting and speaks to where the guys are at. So it was good.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next is where are the guys at? Because this is how the last 4 tournaments have gone. So back to mid-March. A championship win, 6th out of 20, or tie for 8th out of 28 teams, I should say, and then you finish 2nd in the Western Intercollegiate. You feel like you're peaking at the right time here?
I do. The one blemish on that would be the 8th at Stanford's event, but the golf course was not perfect for us, and we had just played the Duck Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
Flew down, and it was the final round, and we just kind of ran out of gas. So it's not an ideal situation to play, 7 competitive rounds.
Yeah.
Not 7, but a lot. And so that might have been an asterisk there. But Pasatiempo was a really challenging golf course and some wind too. And the guys did great. I mean, we had a real chance. Pepperdine had an epic round that kind of won them the event in the mid on the second day. But we had a chance. And so it's just been fun to watch the guys compete and to see their confidence grow and their morale grow. Just as a team has been fun to see as a coach, and so I've been a happy coach, but now it's time to finish.
Right.
You don't want to let it. You don't want to be content. You want to keep pushing.
Casey Martin joining us. Oregon Men's Golf Pac-12 Championships, April 28th through 30th. That's Friday through Sunday, by the way. We'll have updates across the weekend. GoDucks.com. On the baseball broadcast, spring game broadcast, I've got Golf Stat up for
Good.
you. So
Let's do it.
Broadcasting is multitasking, Coach.
Yes.
I mean, that's what I've always said it is. So I'm looking forward to it. What's the course like? Tell us a little bit about the course down at Stanford.
Well, I know it well, having spent years down there.
Good scouting report from you.
Yeah, it's got trees. It's got some hills. It's a beautiful golf course. Beautiful California oaks. And so you need to avoid those. It's not particularly long. There's some long par fours, but in what we're used to seeing, it's not going to be the longest golf course, which is we're not the longest team. So I think it's a good fit for us. It's a wonderful test of golf. They've had a lot of rain this winter, so I know it's very lush. The rough's going to be legit, and we don't see a lot of rough in college golf, but now we are heading into the championship stretch, and so we've been practicing to that down at Emerald Valley. They grew some rough for us, so we'll try to be ready for that, and I think the golf course fits us well. It's going to be 80 degrees, so we'll not know how to handle that. We got to hydrate. The guys are looking forward to it. We'll lay it on the line and see what we got. But playing Stanford on their course is tough. I mean, they're a top 10 or 5 ranked team, and ASU's ranked second, I think. So, I mean, there's huge competition in the Pac-12.
Talking about peaking, I mean, I was kind of curious to ask you this, like, what's led to the peaking at the right time? Like, maybe not just for this team, but in the past. Like, when you see confidence come down the stretch, what leads to that for your squad?
I think just the maturity of my guys. We're starting to trend to be an older team, and they've just been through a lot, and they fought through a lot, and they know themselves, and so I just think golf, the maturity aspect is a big thing. Talent's a huge thing. But then just that emotional maturity of just, hey, I've been there, I've done that, and just seeing guys like Nate Stember and Owen Averett and Greg Solhag, guys that have been in the program, just develop physically and emotionally, they're just kind of trending. So as a coach, you watch it, and it's not like I'm just got my thumb on the guys. They do it a lot themselves. It's been a easy crew that way. There haven't been any issues. So
you touched on a few of your individuals that I want to ask you about, and like just for historical context for everybody for a second here, like, you guys have had multiple Pac-12 golfers of the month, golfers of the week. The range of the time for the Pac-12 of the changes throughout the course of the season. But having that many and different individuals get those honors, how cool of an honor is that? How much does that help the confidence of a squad?
I think it does, yeah. When you're the Pac-12 player of the week or month, the conference is loaded and always is. And so if you recognize that, it boosts the kids. And, again, it's just a reward for all your hard work. And golf is fun. It's enjoyable. It's not hard work, but at the times it can be. There are times where it really can be, and so it's been nice to see guys rewarded that way, and they've deserved it. We've had Owen win a couple times, and Nate won, and it's not easy to win golf tournaments, as I spoke, and so it's been fun to see, and to win twice in 1 year like Owen has is really special.
Keys to success. What's it going to take in the Pac-12 the rest of the postseason?
Just keep things simple. Don't try to be perfect. You got to play free. So we'll talk a lot about that, about certainly my presence as a coach. I can sometimes be intense, so I need to just let I kind of told him the other day, it's like, look, I'm done. I've spoke what I needed to speak. It's now time to just go play and just be yourselves and trust what you guys have worked at. It's not about trying to do anything different or do anything even better. Just go be yourselves and be in the moment.
Couple final thoughts for Casey Martin this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Pac-12 championships, be following along. So you couldn't petition the Pac-12 to move the conference tournament for men's golf and the championships to a weekend that didn't include the Oregon football spring game? I'm just asking.
Well, you nailed it. It's a problem. Our conference has a lot of problems, but this is the biggest one, in my opinion. It is what it is. But the beauty thing is I have a phone, and there may be – I think in the Pac-12 championship, I'll be totally engrossed in what we're doing. But there's more than a chance I'll be looking at my phone to see what's happening. I love my Ducks, and I love football and Dan and the job he's doing. So I'll miss it, but I have it taped. I will be able to see it.
Good.
YouTube has great reruns.
Good.
I'm on it. I'll see everything I need to see.
Good. I had this vision of you with the new school transistor radio, the phone. You know, you could just be listening to what Jerry and Jorgie are saying. I had this
It's
vision
happened
of you.
before. I don't like my administration to know that, but there's been a few times, in particularly in the fall, where we play. And I remember the Ohio State game. We were playing down in Arizona, and my assistant coach, Jeff Quinney, and I were in the car coaching.
Yes.
But also we had the game. We did have the game on mute. It happened.
This is great.
And I'm a little embarrassed by it, but it would happen again. And it was fun because I remember going down the stretch when we were going to beat the Buckeyes, and my countenance totally changed.
Yeah.
You know, my guys were like, "What happened, Coach? Did someone make a hole in one?"
Yeah.
Nope, we beat the Buckeyes.
You
So,
should have been like,
hey,
"Yep, we hit the equivalent of the hole in one."
So Pac-12s will be a little different, but maybe not.
I love that. So I've told everybody this. You are a huge fan.
I am.
So anybody tuning into this, you think you're a big fan? That guy over here is a big fan.
It's a problem.
It's not a problem. It's a passion.
It's a minor problem.
It's a passion.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a good answer. You'll take it?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
I love
good.
it. I love the Ducks. I've always loved the Ducks. Grew up going. It's in the blood. I can't help it, but it can be a problem.
Love that. Casey Martin, final thought. I did want to ask you about the Jake.
Oh, yeah.
You touched on that a little bit with how that can help with the weather. Tell us about your vision for the Jake and how it's coming together.
You know, we've needed something for a long time, and so to partner with Emerald Valley and our awesome supporters at Oregon, we've raised enough money to do a great job and build an awesome facility and name it after Peter and Jan Jacobson. And it's gonna meet our needs on the wet, cold days where the kids can get work in but not be tortured. You know, and I don't. It's not torture. Our weather isn't. I'm being dramatic.
Yeah.
But there are days where it's muddy and wet, and it's going to be nice to have a facility where you can break away from that and still get better golf. So it's going to be really nice. My Jeff Gaskell's building it for us. Is doing an awesome job, and now that the walls are going up, the foundation is in, you get pretty excited when you're down there and get to see it. It's going to be a real benefit to the program.
Yeah, the big opening ceremony going to be here before we know it, which is exciting.
Yeah, it will.
Casey Martin, head coach, Oregon Men's Golf. Pac-12 Championships this weekend, Friday through Sunday. Coach,
Thanks.
best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Down there. Best
Let's
of
go.
luck, and go Ducks, huh?
Go Ducks.
He is an Oregon football superfan. Casey Martin, also one heck of a golf coach. Ducks getting ready for the Pac-12s this weekend. When we come back, more Oregon football, getting ready for the spring game, and Duck baseball. Huge top 25 series against Arizona State. We're going to review last night's action that included some firsts for some Ducks. That's next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Ready for our little forest adventure?
Yes! So much waiting for me. Yeah, I wanna go outside. I wanna be.
We're here.
Whoa, that was fast.
There's a forest closer than you think. Find a park or forest near you and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by USDA Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Back on Nugget Cider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon Acrobatics and Tumbling with a victory this morning. They're going to compete again as the NCATA National Championships are underway and continue into the weekend. Baseball last night, midweek series against Gonzaga. Drew Smith hit his first career home run. Ducks got down early, gave up a 3-run home run in the first. After that, though, Turner Spoljaric was great. Allowed that 3-run homer after he walked 2 hitters in the inning. I think the solo home run, you live with it. The 2 walks are what Turner would probably tell you were what irked him the most. But then he settled in. He went 5 for the Ducks, gave him a good start. Gavin Grant had 3 hits in the game, 4 RBIs. All 3 of the hits came with 2 strikes. Good 2-strike plate approach. And Tanner Smith gunned a guy at second from left field foul territory. Overall, Ducks won 10-5, and it sets up a huge weekend against Arizona State. A pretty darn happy Mark Wazakowski postgame. The Oregon baseball head coach, brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. Here's Waz postgame ahead of Arizona State tomorrow.
Waz, another solid victory today. You guys, again, kind of strike late, 8 runs over the final 4 innings. Just what did you see from your team today?
I thought we played well. I thought the defensive plays were made. I didn't think we really got challenged a whole lot defensively. I thought Tanner made a really good play there at the end of the game to throw a guy out on a ball down the line. But I thought we played very well defensively. I thought we pitched it enough. I thought Matt Dallas was outstanding. Austin Anderson coming in, tough situation there at the end and doing a great job. And Spoljaric, he got off to a rocky start in the first, but then he really settled in, and I thought he pitched well, to give us 5 innings, I think it was only 3 hits, and quality innings right there. I was happy with what we saw, top to bottom on the last 2 days.
Playing well in the late innings has been kind of a point of pride for this program for the last 15 years. You like the way you guys are handling themselves in those situations?
They're executing. They're executing simple stuff. I thought that the game a game nose moment happened with Josiah Cromick when he puts the sacrifice bunt down. He had been going great, puts the sac bunt down, and then gets his big swing on his next at bat and hits a home run. That's kind of the way it works. Be unselfish to baseball, and then you get rewarded. And we saw that a lot with Riku. We saw a lot with Gavin Grant. There were just some things with Betcher executing, whether it was a stolen base or just simple sacrifice or maybe just putting some kind of a play on a hit and run and the guys being able to execute some stuff. I think we executed a safety squeeze to score a run earlier and then just the other stuff that we had going on. I thought it was a complete deal.
Between Bryce and Hanson, Drew today, you feel like some guys have done a pretty good job recently at keeping themselves ready and taking advantage of some opportunities?
Well, that was the message we had, last 2 days out in a huddle is more or less, you got a lot of those guys that are really good players. And, how do you stay ready? And when you get your opportunity, the only way that you're going to shine is to stay ready. And it's the hardest thing because, it's really easy when you're playing every single day to stay in a rhythm and get in a rhythm. But then what about those guys that aren't playing every single day? And seeing those live pitches come at you and all that, it's tough. It takes a lot of mental toughness, and the guys that can do it are really special, and I think guys are getting better at it.
How impressive was it to see Drew Smith go up the middle, 0-2 count for the go-ahead single there?
Oh, I was really impressed. And that guy was good. I think he was throwing 94, 95 miles an hour, and he had a tight slider. And, Drew, I don't think he's even got to 20 at-bats on the year. He's probably hanging close to it, but for him, inside of 20 at-bats in his college career, to be able to do that, I wish I could have done that. I was 0 for my first 3 weekends in college baseball. And so he's a pretty special player, and I think he's going to have a huge future.
Taking on another team this weekend that's the top of the conference standings. Is this kind of where you want to be as a program, playing series like this as you get to this point in the season?
Yeah, packed house, a lot on the line. That's when you're, getting better. And we haven't done some things yet objectively, and so those are just things that are in front of us.
Gonzaga threw a lot of different arms and different arm angles as well at you guys with lefty and righty. It's just how do you feel like your lineup kind of adapted to that and did well over the course of the final couple of innings?
Well, that's a good point. They did. They threw a lot of different guys and different looks at us and stuff. I thought our guys handled it really well to be able to score the runs and put the run totals up. We did in the last 2 days. I thought they were really quality arms that we saw. and be able to break them down. I was impressed with what Coach Martyr's game plan had, and the guys executed. It was good.
Gavin Grant drives in 4 today. He's had a good, probably last week overall. Just again, just what have you seen from him the last week, and how has he, solidified that bottom of the order?
Yeah, same, just like you have, and the leadership too is the stuff that you just can't put a price tag on it. He's just a real steady force with those guys, and he's a real calming influence defensively on the infield. He knows the program inside and out. He knows when we can do some things. He doesn't blow assignments and stuff like that, like they say in football. I mean, he's just a reliable player that's probably going to have one heck of a coaching career. He's that savvy of a person.
You talked earlier this year about the importance of midweek games and getting your guys in with reps, live action reps, basically. Just how nice was that to get Mercado back in there, get him against some real opponents, and same with Matt Dallas.
Well, those guys, yeah, they needed to get out there. We needed to get Malaris probably into a game too, and we weren't able to do that. But there were just several guys that we needed to get in and get them, just keep getting them into game situations. They were just pleased overall. I think the team's staying ready and guys are progressing well, and the young arms. Again, Coach Angier staying patient and doing a nice job with those young arms is really one of the bigger stories.
Curious why Shea didn't start the other game. Is that just getting him ready for the weekend?
Yeah, just, he'd been playing exceptionally well and just gave him a day off. Same thing we did with Tanner Smith last week, kind of took him off his feet, and Sabine today.
So what's the reasoning when you put Arrows in the 2-hole yesterday and Drew Smith in the 2-hole today? You just keeping the rest of the lineup the same? Or?
Yeah, I don't like to move a lot of stuff around, and those guys are really good, and so I think in time you're probably going to see those guys hitting 2, 3, 4 in the order, probably with the other freshmen that we have with Hellman and all those guys. It's a pretty scary thought to think about what, their sophomore or junior, third year type stuff is going to look like. Those guys are pretty spectacular.
One of those, obviously the freshman Armin Turner today gives up the 3-run home run first in the first inning, but then retires the next 9 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
He's been throwing strikes pretty well recently. Just what have you seen from him as a developmental standpoint and just how he's progressed through the season?
Well, I mean, all these young guys, when they can't get anything over the plate other than the fastball, they learn pretty quick that you can't pitch that way at this level, and they're going to get their tails kicked. And Turner sees that in the first inning, and then after that, he was able to locate 4 pitches for strikes and settle in. And the same thing goes true for any of those guys to take them out. I mean, it's a tough level. These guys are good hitters, and if it's just one pitch that you have when you go out there, you're probably going to get rudely awakened that it doesn't work anymore at the level that it used to at the high school level. And being able to have several pitches they can throw for strikes is critical, and I think we're seeing our young pitchers being able to do that. Turner's a special kid. He's got a great arm, and the quicker he develops and these other guys develop, the more progress we've seen our team make.
You guys get 9 total innings combined for your midweek starters. How important is that going into a weekend series against Arizona State, where your bullpen is pretty darn fresh, pretty darn healthy?
Well, I'd rather that be the case than having your starters get trounced and pounded and lose midweek games. That's never the objective. We won 2 midweek games. The guys played well, and we're just going to take it for what it was and move on to the weekend.
You guys thought about who your Sunday starter is going to be? You're going to back that up with? I
haven't even thought about who our Friday starter is going to be this weekend. So, no, we'll talk about that and get that to you.
Tomorrow. Yeah. Ducks and Sun Devils. Going to be fun. Mark Wazikowski. When we come back, hearing from the student athletes, I want to stick on baseball, and then Jerry Allen's going to join us tomorrow, preview a lot of spring football. I want to stick with baseball today because they're playing really well. At 28-12 now, they're sitting at number 15 in the RPI. Zags have a big series against Arizona State, 31 in the RPI, both top 25 teams in all the major polls in college baseball. That's coming up. Drew Smith, Gavin Grant, 2-Sport star Bryce Betcher. All that's coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with the Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Dear Sharp Turns, Toyota has more all-wheel drive sedans than any other brand. Get a grip in the stylish Camry, the elegant Crown, the striking new Prius, or the sharp Corolla. Get to Toyota.com already. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container, because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you. Oregon baseball now 28-12 after the midweek series win over Gonzaga. Pretty cool. Your second career start. When you hit your first career home run, you got to talk with the media postgame. That's Drew Smith, a guy who's got a really bright future. Infielder for the Ducks, playing both third and first base yesterday. Drew Smith meeting with the media postgame after that big night for him against the Zags.
0-2 single up the middle to give Oregon the lead. I guess what were you looking for there? With, facing a pretty tough righty.
Yeah, just looking for something up. My teammates put me in a good spot to succeed, so just trying to keep the momentum with our guys and got it done.
You get an opportunity like that, I'm sure there's things in your own game you want to show, you want to prove, but then to do that and also contribute a big hit that contributes to a win like this, just how does that feel?
It's awesome. Just being with my guys and being in that moment, it's really nice, and they push me every day in practice, so it's no surprise to see those spots, because we see those spots in practice every day, so it's nothing new.
We talked to you 2 weeks ago, I think, after your first hit. Where's your home run ball? You got it?
It's right here.
And what are you going to do with it?
Probably give it to my family. Yeah.
What was the feeling of hitting that ball? I think you clearly got it because you bat flip, but just what was that feeling?
It was awesome. I haven't hit a ball like that in a while in a game at least, so it was pretty awesome.
Gavin said he thinks you're one of the best defensive third basemen he's ever seen. How was it getting your first start in the field today?
Oh, it was awesome being out there with, three older guys. I mean, I hang out with Gavin and Drew all the time, and I look up to those guys, and they're really mentors to me. So being able to play with those guys, especially in their last year, is really special. And just being able to share the field with them is awesome.
Did you know the way Turner handled himself through his start? It seemed like, obviously the nature of the position is you're going to be communicating with him a fair amount. Just what was the process of kind of helping him kind of get through that first inning and then kind of stabilize?
Just staying with him. It was a little rocky in the beginning, but he stuck with it, and his stuff's awesome. So he just stuck in there and got it done.
What are some of those conversations like between you and Gavin and Drew, and just how have they helped you throughout the course of this year?
Yeah, just trying to pick me up and try and teach me so many things. I mean, they've been in the game for so long, so they've seen a lot of things I haven't seen yet. So I'm just trying to be a sponge and soak up everything I can with those guys.
What about working with Sabine, the other third baseman on the roster?
Yeah, he's a dude. He's going to be a big leaguer one day, so it's pretty awesome.
What are those fielding competitions like? You guys ever play Gold Glove or something like that over there at third?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, it's always competitive in practice, and he's really good over there, and it just really pushed me to be better, and I think I do the same thing to him, so it's really good competitive nature, and that's how it is with everybody on the team.
Overall, you guys, 23rd in the country, projected to host a regional. There seems to be not mounting pressure, but there's pressure coming. Just how have you guys kind of embraced that pressure and have talked about it as a team?
Yeah, just sticking with our guys and just focusing on what we got to do. I mean, it's a day at a time. Focus on the day, focus on the pitch, focus on the thing that's right in front of us, not looking too far in the future. So,
what is it like to have the confidence of your coach to put you in the 2-hole today and put you at third base?
It feels great. It feels great knowing that he has that trust in me, and I feel like I've been putting in some pretty good work, and I feel like they've been seeing it, and obviously they put it out there, so it feels great.
How do you stay on top of it? You know, you don't play every once in a while you get in there, but you do seem to do pretty well every time you get up to the dish. Just how do you stay on top of it and keep yourself prepared?
Just keep going hard in practice and keep giving it all I have every chance I get, and just go for it every time, no regrets.
I love that from Drew Smith. So many good things, like you have to stay ready, and giving that home run ball to his family, that's cool. You know, that's a moment that he'll remember forever. Now, from a freshman infielder to a veteran infielder in Gavin Grant, a guy who has been so good, so solid for the Ducks at second base. Yesterday, 3 hits, all with 2 strikes, and each one of them knocked in at least a run. He had 4 RBIs in the game. Gavin Grant meeting with the media as well.
What's the mentality you feel like you guys are putting forth in the late innings to take advantage of those situations?
I think the big thing is just finishing. Waz brought it up after the second game of San Francisco. We didn't finish well, especially from the infield, and I started that, but I think the big thing is just finishing offensively, defensively, pitching, and just keep going.
You've been hitting pretty well this past week. You're driving 4 today. Just how do you feel at the dish right now? What's your confidence level?
I feel good, just from all the work we've been putting in with Coach Marder. I mean, if you look at my spray charts over the career, I don't think I've gone backside like that on a slider. So it's just from all the work that the coaches put in, and they tell us what to do and we go with it.
To see guys like Bryce, like Drew, taking advantage of some opportunities the last few weeks, just no surprise to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's without a doubt no surprise. Like, those guys are some of the best players, and they'd be starting anywhere else. It just happens to be we have a lot of talent here with a lot of great dudes, and those guys are gonna get their chances here in the season, and I mean, they're going to be the face of the program here in a few years.
What have you seen from Drew over there at shortstop? You begin the year at short, you end up moving over to second, and Carter comes in. Drew's taking it over. Just what have you seen from him defensively there?
He's just a solid defender. I mean, kind of like Josh last year, just going to make the plays, going to get it over to first, and he's a great guy to have in the middle. It's a lot of chemistry there. I mean, roommate, so we know what we're going to do with certain plays, and we know we're going to put the ball for each other.
And how's that been for you, going from second to short and now back to second?
I mean, I like it. I feel a lot comfortable at second. Grew up playing second, and it's just takes a little bit of weight off the shoulders. Everyone wants to be the shortstop, but feel comfortable at second, and whatever helps the team win.
The bottom of the lineup has gotten a couple rallies you're going the last couple games. Just, how much do you guys take pride in that as a 7, 8, 9, and just trying to get to Riku and the top of the lineup? We
take a lot. We got guys like that at the top of the lineup with Saba, Smith, Shade, and all those guys. Like DC, they're gonna put the ball or bat on the ball and get us RBI. So all we got to do is just get on base for them and do our job.
The bottom of the order has been so good for the Ducks of late. Gavin Grant talking about that there. I really, really like the way that his leadership has helped in the infield this year. Tom asking, sorry if you missed it, Acro and Tumbling did win this morning, Tom. Yes. Ducks back in action this weekend and tomorrow, I believe, for the NCAA National Championships. When we come back, how about a 2-sport guy? Talk a little football and baseball with Bryce Betcher, who got a 2 RBI knock on the baseball field last night and was practicing with spring football this morning. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, OnPoint proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. OnPoint Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain.
Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too. Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Back on Nugget Cider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Two-sport guy, Bryce Betcher. So yesterday, he gets the 2 RBI knock that gives the Ducks the lead that they don't ever give back. They win 10-5. This morning, he was on the practice fields with Oregon football. Bryce Betcher, the two-sport guy, meeting with the media after baseball last night.
Once you get through Saturday, like, are you going to get bored, you think? You've had so much on your plate the last few weeks.
Bored?
Seriously, though, I mean, like, what's it like to see kind of the light at the end of the tunnel of just what's, I'm sure, been a really intense 5 or 6 weeks for you?
Yeah, no doubt. It's been intense, but, I look forward to it. I'll still be working when spring ball's over in football and in baseball, but it'll definitely be nice to take some rest and get my mind right for the back end of the season for baseball and then come back summertime and get ready strong for football.
As a guy who is from around here, has watched this program, I mean, this is a program that's prided itself for a lot of years of being the better team in the late innings. Getting good relief pitching, getting clutch hitting late. Just how would you describe the kind of mentality that you guys have to kind of continue that tradition?
Yeah, I think it started with Coach Waj just bringing in the blue collar mentality, and I think late in the game that's when you need it, especially when you're not going great. Instead of rolling over, our team does a good job of rallying together and stringing ABs together and getting 1+ at a time, and our pitchers are gritty too. So yeah, I think it goes back to that white T-shirt mentality, blue collar mentality that was instilled in us, and yeah, I think that's what helps us.
Drew Calloway talked yesterday about like the infectious energy that you guys put together in that 7th inning. Was that there again today in the last couple of frames?
Oh, absolutely. Once we just get one guy on base and everyone starts feeling it, and it's contagious. And yeah, just 1+ at a time. Drew Calloway's a big part of that, and yeah.
This series you've been going pretty well. You got 2 RBI single yesterday, a double, a couple walks today. Just how locked in are you at the plate, do you feel?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Seeing the ball well. Coach Mutter and I are locked in with my swing, and I'm feeling good.
Defensively, you get the chance to play center field as Colby Shade sits these last 2 games. Just how much fun is it to play center field for you?
It's a lot of fun. It's definitely my favorite position on the field. Got priority with all the balls, so whenever the ball goes up in the air, it's mine. So that's nice because Colby Shade will call me off when I'm in right field. So, but yeah, I'm hopefully rests up, and it's been good. I've enjoyed it.
He's definitely been really good at both sports, hasn't he? Bryce Betcher meeting with the media there. So you're going to see him in action Friday night against Arizona State in a baseball uniform. Then you're going to see him in action in a football uniform on Saturday. And then, to be honest with you, I didn't catch him after practice this morning. I wanted to ask Bryce, so, are you going to run to PK Park in your pads and then change into a baseball uniform? He could do that. I'm serious. Bryce may run across Autzen, across the courtyard, and it could happen. I don't know. We'll find out. That's Duck Insider for the day. Tomorrow, Jerry Allen's with us. No kidding. Yeah. Previewing the spring game. We'll talk to you then.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is an important message